What's going on, everyone? We are live. Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. It is a little bit early, but you know what? It doesn't matter because it is Friday, which is also Pizza Friday. So we're going to have some fun today. But before we get to any of that pizza stuff, we got to do a little bit of work because, as you know, every day we get together right here on YouTube and we live stream our process as we try to figure out how the hell we're going to build ourselves a company which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. So doing it the hard way, doing it the hard way. I don't know if there's any easy way of making $1 million, I guess, unless you're like scamming people, I guess might be one way. But yeah, we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to learn. And last year we made 100K. This year we're hoping to make 250K. We'll start talking about numbers probably around the end of the year or the beginning of, like the fiscal year or whatever it is, which I think our fiscal year is actually different than the calendar year. Anyways, I don't know. I got to talk to my accountant about all this stuff. But we will be talking about numbers and seeing kind of where we land this year. And of course, we run Pixel Media, which is our company which builds websites for our clients. And we also do lots of other creative work. If you've been watching any of the videos for the past couple of days, you know that even very shortly, I have to go out and do some more filming for another client. So we do AV work, we do creative services kind of stuff, but mostly we want to kind of specialize in websites and web applications. Anyways, that being said, we're narrowing down the focus of our creative agency because we want to, number one, have an audience that we really know really well, that we can target really well. And we decided to branch off into targeting specifically academic researchers and like research groups. So basically people doing science and people that need help with being able to communicate that science to the public. So I think there's really big disconnect between scientists that do their research. They're really great at what they do, because they've spent their whole life, being really technical on this, these very niche areas of science. But in order to get that science information to the public and so that the public could understand what that science actually means, how it's going to benefit their life, how it's going to benefit society, there's a huge gap in being able to articulate the benefits of the research because they want to be able to do that so they can get more funding and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we're hoping our new agency can help kind of bridge the gap there. And so I thought what I do today, because we don't have too much time because I do need to prep and get ready for my shooting, is let's just review some of the materials that we made about a month or two. I would say like a month or two, but I think it's something like maybe 3 or 4 months ago when we were thinking about doing this, but we kind of ended up not going this route. But then after revisiting it, it just makes the most sense to go this way, because the clients that are still coming in the door and walking through, like knocking on the door and calling me or whatever, they're all science-based people. So I might as well just don't try to reinvent the wheel here. So anyways, we did some work before and we did some work on the sitemap. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just kind of go back and review what we wrote down for the sitemap. But in terms of what we want to, we want to follow specific steps in this process because, like I said, I want to treat making this new website for our new agency, we want to treat it as if this was like a really, really high quality client, paying us a whole lot of money, like 100K, whatever the case may be, and that we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that everything goes super smoothly every step of the way so that we build an amazing website at the end of the day, which, the client is absolutely in love with, both in terms of how it looks, but also more importantly, how it functions. So we want to make sure we do a really, really good job there. And with that being said, the first step that we're going to do is we started reaching out to some people yesterday, is we want to get really good feedback and insights from people that are inside academic environments right now. So that's going to mean calling up people that I know and people that I have worked with to kind of sit down with them and tell them my ideas and the things that I want to do and hear from them what problems that they're having and, the problems that they've been having with trying to find people to solve those problems and seeing where their pain points are to see if we can figure out the services that we should offer that'll provide that really good product market fit. Because we want to see what people are really having issues with beyond just, hey, I need a website for my website. It goes beyond that. It's like, what specifically do you need, a website to do, or what parts of your science are you trying to get out to the public that you're having a hard time doing, right? So we want to see if we can figure out what the problems people are having, so that when we develop our solutions, we're hitting home and we're resonating with those people. And that's why doing even this sitemap right now is probably a little bit premature, in that we don't really know what our services are going to be yet. But also, that being said, I do think that the website is at least going to be pretty minimal to start off with, just like any basic agency website, which has, your home page, you has your about page, your contact us page, case studies, and it's hard to do 4 with just this one with leaving the index, case studies, and then of course, the services that you offer. I think those ones are probably going to be there. So it's a good idea to just review that and kind of think about what we might want to have. And then once we get that direct feedback, then we can really figure out exactly what content needs to be put in there. And we can kind of flesh out the information architecture that's going to be on each individual page. But then it might also help us decide on what services that we should really put forth front and center on the website, so that people know that we solve that specific problem, right? Depending on what we hear. So, all right. So here we have the homepage. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Let's just go through this because it's been a long time since we wrote this, and let's just kind of go in fresh to see what we jotted down. So on the homepage, all right. So the idea here is to have an intro statement with a call to action. So that could be, hey, science, science, and we communicate science for you, whatever the case may be, whatever that intro statement is. Again, that intro statement is really going to be dictated by what problems it is that we're going to be hearing from the people that we're going to reach out to. So, some of the people that I reached out to a couple of people yesterday. We're going to do more next week as well too, to try to lock in as many customer interviews as possible. All right. So we have the intro statement. Then we have case studies. So that's just, even if it's just, a listing of, hey, I worked with this company, or this researcher, this one, click there to learn more. So just like, basically like anything, like a portfolio showcase. So it makes sense. Then you get into the services, okay? And then if there's a news section, a blog section, and then a call to action section. And there could be multiple call to action sections as well too, but kind of at the footer where it's like ready to get started with your project, call to action. So that seems all pretty standard to me. Is there anything that I'm thinking that might be missing from this? Off the top of my head, I can't really say that there is. Yeah. I don't know how to put this in there, but if there's some type of, if I enter this, can I enter? Somehow like a value proposition, which just showcases, and that's probably part of the intro statement, but something that shows why you would want to work with us and what it is that we do, like the problems that we solve. Maybe going more in depth into than the intro statement. So maybe there's just more text or more, maybe even it's a video, I don't know. But there needs to be some way to showcase to the audience why you would want to work with us and what value that we can provide for your organization, for your research. So we want to have that for sure. All right. So case studies. Again, think of the navigation menu where it's like home, about, like work, or case studies and services. So the case studies, and if you go on to you click on the work, then it's like, okay, here's a gallery of each of the clients that we worked with. And now we could, so I don't think we need to, in this page, go more in depth as to what we would like for each of these gallery view. But I mean, I could just put here list of services for each. Oh, I have that. Yeah, I have this down here in this case study, where this case study is when you're on an individual level, right? So you click on one, it's a gallery again, think of just like an image gallery. And then you click on one, and then it brings into the case study. It's a specific page dedicated to that company. You know, like it's IBM, it's like Kelvin / IBM. And here we go. And then in that case study, we talk about the project description, just a general, almost like a brief of what they were looking for, the services that we implemented, showcasing like before, after, all that kind of stuff, product reveal. Then the results afterwards, like, hey, we had an increase of 200% sales, or whatever the case may be, more downloads of the research papers, whatever key metrics that we could showcase, we should show it here. And then have the testimonials from the people that actually work there. And then, yeah, some before or after pictures as well. So that all sounds quite reasonable and pretty cool. Yeah, that's not bad. And services as well. Yeah, so this is where, yeah. So this is where we're not exactly sure what we're going to be, but knowing what I'm seeing here is, I think the idea was to break things down into 4 main buckets of things that an organization might want. And yes, maybe specifically for science, but it could be for anybody who needs any kind of technological or creative work. So like digital. So there's a thing for, again, thinking of like 4 different services, right? There's digital, content creation, data management, and then event management. And within content creation, those are where you have the other different things, right? Where maybe that's a podcast production. Maybe you want video, you want interviews, you want graphics to be created, you need stationary things to be created, social media posts, which again, audio, video, all that kind of stuff. Communication writing, so writing different flyers or press releases, things like that. So, and then digital, again, what does that mean? Anything that needs an inference. You need an application. You need a website, some search engine stuff. We could even go into advertising, but this is something that I would have to, I don't do advertising, as you saw me doing Google, so I'm still learning about that stuff. So I would in no way feel comfortable taking anybody's money to perform ad campaigns for people. That being said, if it's something that would make sense that people are looking for, and then I could hire somebody to do that or outsource it at first, we'll put it in there. But we're going to worry about the minutia or the details of how we'd actually go ahead and provide these services. And again, we really need to start getting information from actual people in the field to see what services people are actually looking for when they're looking for some type of person to do some type of creative service for them, for their research or what have you. Okay, so then the blog and news, I think, yeah, very simple. Just keep it a gallery view of the posts. Makes sense. And the subscribe form that's there. And then on the post itself, you have the actual content, a different call to action, maybe about the author. And maybe you could say a little bit about the agency as well, too. How do I, come on, get in there. So about the agency and like the type of people that we work with as well, too. And this blog it's going to be really, really targeted for science communication. So the content is going to be things like how to ensure your science, how do you communicate your science to the general public, or how to get the public interested and engaged in the work that you do. You know, just thinking about the problems that scientists generally have with communication and websites, all that kind of stuff. And then we will just really tailor the content for that and really talk about the things that scientists themselves really like to talk about. Even just things like how to better prepare yourself for trying to get funding, all that kind of stuff, and how to write for success for, you know, people to know who you are, and there's all kinds of different stuff. So that's going to be pretty good. And that's going to be one of the ways that we can use our own SEO internally to be able to drive that organic traffic to our website, and that in a combination with LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is definitely going to be the method of going out and reaching out to people. and just like duplicating the posts on LinkedIn as well as, just having them on the website as well. I think that's going to work really, really well for us. Okay. And then the About Us, again, this, we're going to keep it really simple for now. And I think it's really talking about, like who it is. You just think of like, it's me and like, hey, I've been, I got my master's degree. I've been in and out of academia for like 20 plus years. I really focus on communication, blah, 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 blah. Here's is what we want to do. And and just kind of go from there. So pretty simple, but we want to make sure that we highlight the skills that we have to make people understand that, number one, yes, we're a creative space and we do work that wouldn't typically be like what a scientist would do. Like, again, if you're talking about doing event management or data management or even just building websites, it's like, yes, we build websites, but more importantly, we also understand the language of science. So if you have any technical stuff that you want to talk about in whatever science that you're doing, or even engineering, whatever, we can understand that. And we could take the information that you're telling us and be able to distill that into what regular people, people people that aren't scientists or that are not experts in the field, in a way that they can understand, right? So it's like, we want to make sure that people understand that we're storytellers, right? So, showcase that we are storytellers with knowledge of science. We can turn your complex into simple, right? Just for people to understand. So that's kind of the goal of that page. And a resource page. So I don't know so much about having a resource page like this. So we're going to have to see. We'll see what feedback we get from people once we finish all of our customer interviews. But I don't know if having something like this is going to be useful. I get it in terms of like, hey, having funding opportunities and all that, and people do enjoy that type of thing, because at the end of the day, academics, the biggest thing that everyone always stresses out about is, how am I going to get funding? How am I going to get funding for the next round? How am I going to pay my graduate students? All that kind of stuff. So that is super, super important. But the resources could be very good for people that are like very, very early career, or even people that are just doing their graduate degrees, where if we can point them towards specific resources and, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, because it's not like we're going to be building any kind of, software that they're going to be using. So I don't think there's really any need to shill any kind of software or anything like that. But of course, to give them information on how to use things like R or something like that, so people understand how to do different statistical analyses using software. So getting tutorials for that, putting that together might be something that's pretty useful. But yeah, we're not going to worry about that too much. So I think what we'll do is just put not sure if needed. I'll just put that there. And then a contact form. Yeah. So just basically, what they want, what they're looking for. Yeah. Just a way to contact us. But then I'll also put in, I think, or email us. So basically a form, and then also, because some people don't like contact forms, which is fine. But then they could send us an email. So that's so I think we did really pretty good work here in terms of laying out what we'd want on the sitemap. So it's pretty good. But we do know, we were thinking of whether we call it Beaker, but we definitely called it Kelvin. So that's what our new agency is going to be. Is it going to be Kelvin Studios or Kelvin Agency? I can't remember what domain I bought. I think I bought a couple different domains for it. But that's pretty good. And we were doing some stuff here. This stuff is going to probably get thrown out. I think we did do some good work with the content, but again, we want to do this right. We really want to make the best website that we can. So we're going to start with talking to people, getting the feedback from there, and that's going to drive the content. That's how we're going to be able to really figure out what they want and what they need, and then build the content around that. And I'm probably, one thing I really want to try to do for this is bring someone that's really an expert in communication and writing this type of language to hopefully come on stream with me, and then we can kind of work through the content together. That would be really, really cool. And I think that'd be pretty valuable, not only for me, super valuable for me, but maybe to you guys as well too, to kind of see how people think about crafting the right content for a website. And yeah, maybe doing a little bit of thought. Obviously we want to think about what people are going to be typing into search engines as well too, to see what people are going to be searching. And maybe we should probably do a little bit of analysis for what people are searching to see if we can kind of find any trends. I guess we can look at Google Trends or Trendlines or something like that to see what's out there. So, but anyways, stand out the crowd from academic space. We turned complex science into clear narratives. Yeah, so through innovative digital storytelling. Like super good. I really love it. So I don't think we're going to throw everything out, but definitely the terms of the design and the look, yeah, we're going to completely do everything from scratch here. Yeah. But this is really cool. This is breaking down the services. There's data management visualization. Like, I don't even know if we're going to want to go even more in depth than this, but this might be good enough to get people into the door and, giving us a call, right? Like digital and then content, video production, pre and post production, photography, written content, social media, podcasts. Even this thing here might be, content. Yeah, it belongs there, not digital. Right. Yeah. So anyways, we have some really good ideas that we started on the path. But of course we kind of just stopped. So, but now we're going to continue on, and then we're going to make sure we do everything right. And what I think I'll try to do is pretty much do most of the work here on the live stream, so we can have a full, documentation of the process of building a website. Maybe not all of it, but most of the big things, the big milestones, which we should probably, now that I'm thinking about it, we should probably lay this out in Asana and get in there and put in all the different things in Asana of all the major milestones that we want to reach till we get to the product launch. And then, yeah, that'll kind of guide the episodes and the different things that we're going to do. And I don't know. And then, just help us, guide what we need to do from start to finish, because we want to have this, like I said, 6 to 8 weeks. So at the latest, definitely in 2 months, but I would love to have this done at least a couple months before Christmas, which would be nice to see if we can get some of that. There's usually always kind of a push in academia to get kind of stuff out there before people go away on the holidays. So maybe it would be kind of nice to kind of get that out the door soon. It would have been nice in September now, with the start of the new term, but that's okay. We can aim to be out there here in a couple months, and then even make a really good push in January in the new year, when people are also thinking about, the new winter term or whatever, and thinking about what they want to do with their research and their projects. So anyways, I'm excited, looking forward to it, and we'll see what happens here over the next week is going to be pretty interesting too, once we get feedback from people that we're going to be reaching out to. So looking forward to sharing some of that information once that starts to trickle in. Okay, so as I said, pretty short video today, unfortunately, so I do have to leave you, but thank you so much for joining and tuning in. I got to start writing in a bunch of different questions because I'm going to be interviewing some people. So I need to, some people, it's going to be one person, but I need to do an interview, so I need to make sure I have all my questions kind of ready to go so we can get that really good script down for the video that we're going to be producing. So got to get ready for that and going to do that interview. So that's going to be fun to do. So I have to leave you now. So thank you, as always, for joining. Really appreciate you guys showing up. I know there's a couple people here watching in the stream. So hope you have a great day, great rest of your day as well. Enjoy Pizza Friday. Have a great weekend. And as always, I'll be back here again tomorrow for on Monday, because today is Friday. So yeah, enjoy the weekend. We'll see you on Monday.